it's Jackie, and for today's tutorial, I'm gonna show you an everyday glam makeup look inspired by Wonder Woman. I just went out and saw the movie, I loved it, loved Gal, and her makeup was really pretty, and then I also decided to throw in this warrior braid, and let me tell you, okay, this video has taken me like 3 times to do because the braid is quite challenging, but through trial and error, I found some easy tips and tricks on how to fix little mistakes and how to make it just a little bit more doable, because it definitely is a hard style to do on yourself. But I really hope you guys like my tutorial, find it helpful, and can throw in some Wonder Woman to your everyday beauty routine. And also, if you're thinking, Jackie, like, what the heck are you wearing? Good question. This is me improvising for this tutorial. I have this glittery belt that's my like sash, and then I threw in some Jungle Woman, so hope you guys like it. But if you give this video a thumbs up and subscribe, not if you, can you please? Okay, anyways, let's just get started. Starting off this Wonder Woman tutorial, we want a glowing, healthy base, so I'm using my Becca Backlight primer all over the skin. I'm going to speed through my foundation routine to move this tutorial along, but all the products will be linked down below. I'm using the L'Oreal Truematch Lumi all over the skin in a light layer, and then I'm using the matching brightening pen, to brighten up under my eyes, on my jawline, and any other areas I want to bring forward. So these two products together have sheer coverage and they leave a dewy finish, so they look more like natural skin, and we're going to keep using cream/liquid products like Gal's makeup artist for a natural but flawless look. Next up, I'm using a couple Revlon sticks. So this is a blush stick, and I'm applying it underneath my cheekbone and then slightly upward onto my cheeks, a little higher than I would normally wear blush, and this is going to give a bit of a contoured look and more of a sunken in cheek. Still using these Revlon sticks, I'm using an illuminator, and I'm going to pull forward the cheekbones even more, and again, I'm just blending in with my finger. I love this product for a natural dewy sheen that isn't cakey and doesn't accent the pores like some powders do. I love using powder highlighters, but sometimes they do show up all the pores and if you have any little bumps on the skin. So I really do like this one, and I also love the YSL glow shots, as you guys know if you've watched several of my tutorials. For a bit of a healthy glow, I'm going in with a powder bronzer, just really lightly along the hairline, under the cheekbone, under the jawline, and slightly down the neck. So I started with cream products, and then I'm just using really light powders on the skin because we don't want anything that's going to sit on top. We just want to make sure everything is set. And then I did go in with Nudie from Too Faced as my contour shade under the cheekbone to kind of give more of a mature bone structure, but I'm really not applying too much product because we don't want to fake it too hard. Work with what you got. And then I did go in and slightly contour my nose a little bit slimmer using the same Nudie shadow. And I went back in with my lightning pen, and I'm going to bring this along the sides of my nose up to where my contour is and just pat that in, and this actually camouflages the width quite a bit. Keep on blending out that contour if you choose to do so, and then I'm bringing back in that cream highlight to the center of the nose, and I find that contours look more natural when you do have a bit of a natural looking sheen in the highlight to hit the light. And next up, I decided to go in with a bronzer just down my neck and chest, and this one has a bit of shimmer to it, so you'll glow like an Amazon woman. For brows, I'm using my Benefit Goof-Proof Brow in the shade 3, and in some scenes her brows look very natural, and in her Wonder Woman costume they look a bit more sharp and defined, so that's what I'm going off of, and I'm bringing my brows closer together but keeping them sparse in the beginning and then filling out my arch, and then I'm going back in with a deeper powder to deepen up the arch and tail. Keep in mind, Wonder Woman has super dark hair, so hers have definitely a darker shade, but I'm keeping mine slightly lighter because my hair is more of a brown/auburn. For the eyes, I'm starting with this Revlon cream base, and I'm applying this to the lid, and make sure you get that inner corner as well. And then going in with the 24 karat nudes palette from Maybelline. This is the only palette I'm going to use to complete the look. So first, take the light grayish taupe shade and apply this in the inner and outer portion of the lid and blend together for some dimension. And with the deeper gold shade, I'm taking this from the inner crease in a rounded motion to the outer corner, and then I'm going to deepen that outer crease with the darker taupey shade, and we're going to blend this together. We've already got the cream base in the inner corner, and we're going to add a shadow underneath the bottom lash line about halfway, still keeping it light. Now for a bit of a smiling eye look, I'm taking that taupe shadow we used to deepen up the outer corner, and I'm applying this underneath. And you want to leave a bit of space from your bottom lash line so you have a little bit of skin showing, and then underneath that kind of round out a smiling eye shape. Blend out so there aren't any harsh lines, and last I took this matte charcoal shade and I blended this one more time into the crease, and now we're going to go in with liner. The eyeliner I'm using is the Ink It liner by CoverGirl. I'm using the black shade, and I love this one. I find it super easy to apply, so just start in the center of your lid and start etching along your lash line, and we're going to finish it off by just slightly fading the liner out where your lid ends rather than winging it out. Bringing back in that charcoal shade, I'm going to go back over the line just to soften it up a bit, and if you want the liner to be more exact to the movie, keep it thinner in the inner corner and then drag it out so it's slightly wider on the outer corner, like I did the second time I filmed this tutorial, so there's a little shot. But if you want to keep it just inspired, roll with however your wing turns out, and taking that dark charcoal shade again, we're going to line the bottom lash line very closely to the lashes. Next up, use your favorite mascara. I'm using the Lash Paradise by L'Oreal here, and I'm coating my upper lashes and then just touching my bottom lashes so it's not too harsh. And then I decided to pop on some outer corner lashes to be glam this day, but if you want it accurate to the movie, then definitely skip out on that part. In the later part of the tutorial, I don't have the glam version, but I wanted to add some lashes, I don't know. And then moving on to lips, we're going to use this Rimmel Exaggerate lip liner. I haven't used this in a while, and I forgot how much I love it. And we want the lips to look very natural, so we're not going to harshly line or overline. I'm just making sure that the upper portion of my lip and the lower portion are defined a little bit before moving on to the final product. So you can totally go in and just dab in the blush that we already used on the cheeks. But the final product I really love is this YSL lip product, and it's going to give a very natural blushing color. It makes the lips look super hydrated and plump, and the exact product used I will have linked down below that they used on Gal, but this is from my collection and I really recommend this one. The YSL product is a bit more pricey, so you could always just go in with a lip balm to get that hydrated look. And then I completed this glam version, the little fluttery eyelashes with curled hair, but I'm going to show you the warrior braid next, so just keep on watching. First up, brush out your hair and add some volume spray. I'm just using my dry shampoo, and also for more texture, I'm spraying in some Pantene air spray to my roots, and then I'm tossing my fingers through. And with this top section of hair, we're going to create two side parts, try to make them sharp, and then brush the sides out so they're slick, and create a ponytail at the very top of your head. When this is secured with a small elastic, I like to poof up the very front section for some texture to the hair. Next, take a small piece of hair from within the ponytail, and you want to wrap that around the base and then tie off with another elastic. Divide this ponytail we have into two and take a small section from one side, and we're going to start creating a simple infinity braid. All you do is you take that small piece and you want to bring it under the first section and over the next section, back under and over to the initial strand. You're going to do this figure 8 motion throughout the hair a couple times to get the braid started. And as you can see with this, you get a pretty infinity style, and a tip I like to do is I use a big flat clip that you can section off the smaller piece where it ended so that you can give your arms a break and prepare the next section that is going to weave through the hair. So next we're going to create the weaving pattern with the hair outside of the ponytail. So take a section from the side, brush it upwards, we want it to be smooth, and we're going to bring this under the first section, over the second one, back under and around, and we're going to use the clip again to make sure that we clip it into this section of hair. I'm really just using this clip to secure it in place while I brush up the next section, and we're going to repeat. So again, under the first section, over the second, back under, and then add it to the other side. One more time, the pattern is under the first, over the second, back around that piece, and you're going to combine into the strand beside. I really like how Kaylee Melissa described this pattern as under, over, under, together. Now here's a trick if you find that the infinity braid is becoming too loose and you're seeing the underneath strand more than you want to, which happens to me constantly. Just take a mini elastic and tie it right underneath the problem section, and then tighten that section so it pushes the wrapped up hair closer to the last stitch of braid. In my thumbnail, I redid the braid super tight, the infinity portion, but honestly it took sweat and almost tears of frustration, so using a bit of a thicker strand to get it done is a little less accurate to the movie, but definitely more doable on yourself. Once you're almost at the nape of your neck, section off with a little elastic again. I could have continued this braid a little further down, but honestly I was getting a little sick of it, and I wanted to move on to step number 2, so I clipped in an extension for more volume, but optional, and we're going to create a French fishtail braid. So for a French fishtail, see how we already have a portion of our hair in a ponytail? And then we have hanging hair. You're going to take a section from the hanging hair on the outermost side, and then gather a tiny strand from within the ponytail, again on the outermost side, and then cross it to the opposite side. So we're creating a crisscross motion, just taking the small outermost strands of the hanging hair and within the ponytail, combining them together, and then crossing over. So it's not too hard, but it looks probably a little hard to see because my hair is so poofy, but that is all we're doing, just a crisscross with the outermost strands, and then we're going to convert into a normal fishtail. So once you've done about 5 or 6 stitches of the French fishtail, just divide your hair over on both shoulders, and then I find the fishtail super easy because you're just going to pick up an outermost strand and then cross it over to the other shoulder to join the other side. And do this a couple times with little strands, and then we're going to quickly finish off the braid with a fat fishtail braid. So instead of using these tiny strands, we're just going to take a chunk and then move it over to the other side and keep this tight so it looks more similar to the movie. To tie off the braid, I used 3 brown hair elastics, and I just wrapped them around my hair as many times as possible. And the last step I did was I took some bobby pins and I just took some of the fishtail strands that were maybe a little bit loose and pinned them a bit upwards so that they blended better into the infinity braid. I added a bit more shimmery bronzer to my chest and arms, and in the movie her muscles were slightly sculpted if you really want to look a little more muscular. And also I did add some gel to the sides of my head to really make sure they stayed sleek. And another option that I did want to show is instead of the fishtail, if you want to go in and do an infinity braid to tie off the rest of the ponytail, then this is what that version looks like. When you're finishing off the length of a ponytail with an infinity braid, you're going to take that outer portion and go under, over, and you're going to do this as many times as you can until the strand is too small, and then you're going to add a small section from whatever side you're on, and then just continue that pattern so it's a little bit easier. Thanks for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed my Wonder Woman tutorial, and if you did, make sure you give this video a thumbs up and subscribe for more beauty videos every week. If you like movie recreations, then I do have a playlist, and my latest one before this tutorial was Karina from Pirates of the Caribbean, so I have her makeup and hairstyles, so you can check that out listed in the eye. And yeah, thanks for watching. If you want to check me out on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook, all of my links are listed down below, as well as all the products used today, and I will see you in my next tutorial.